the two women drive back into town, and proceed to visit the hardware store to gear up. Some real shit is about to go down now. They then ask the cashier if he knows Boris, the man with the blue truck, and the cashier knows where he lives. On the other side of town, Uncle Jason continues his investigation by visiting the town's car insurance building today. He makes up a story about accidentally colliding with a blue truck, and asks who owns it. The boss Boris just makes it back home. It turns out that Katie and Sloan have sneaked up on him, and throw a bunch of nail-spiked tennis balls at him, injuring him badly. Now that the tables have turned, Boris pleads for his life, and even goes as far as offering his money in exchange for sparing his life.
Think more?
Green toolbox in the other room.
Right then, Uncle Jason pulls up in front of Boris' house. Back inside, Katie and Sloan begin questioning him about the identity of the man with the pig mask. When Boris refuses to reveal it, Katie and Sloan take a makeshift spear they made, and shoves it up his behind, which eventually kills him. When Uncle Jason finally enters the house, it appears that Katie and Sloan have left, and he takes in the sight of a dying Boris. Jason then hears the roar of car engines, and storms outside. Katie and Sloan drive off, while Uncle Jason rushes the dying Boris to the hospital. On the next scene, the sheriff informs Uncle Jason that Boris did not make it. Growing even more worried, Uncle Jason decides to try calling Katie's phone, but then, realizing his cover is blown, the sheriff takes out his gun. Katie and Sloan pull up in front of a church, and we learn that Pig Mask Dude is actually the town's priest. Sloan makes her entrance inside the church, and comes face to face with her rapist. With Katie's help, the two best friends take down the bastard. As Katie and Sloan drive away, we see that they are now content carefree. But when they make a stop and step out of the car, it turns out that Pig Mask Dude, aka the priest, is chained behind the truck this whole time. As their final blow, they pour gasoline all over him, and sets him on fire before driving off. While the two women seem to be thriving, Uncle Jason is now held captive by the sheriff. Even worse, it appears that the sheriff has captured two new young women. Luckily, Katie and Sloan have come to the rescue. They tie up the sheriff, and proceed to torture him with a game of Russian roulette. We can see now that the two women are a little unhinged, but I guess in a way we can't blame them.
No! Fucking bitches.
The sheriff begins proclaiming how sorry he is, right when Katie finally finishes him off with a blow to the head. Afterwards, Katie and Sloan free the women, and tell them to free Uncle Jason. Jason tries asking the women who killed the sheriff, but they won't answer out of gratitude because Katie and Sloan saved their lives. Next, Katie and Sloan pay a visit to Jed and Luca's mother's house, and decides to drug her the same way that she drugged them a few days ago. They tie her up and take her to the basement, where Jed is tied up and gagged. They proceed to bash his head in with baseball bats, while the mother is forced to watch. Up next, they take her to Lucas, who is also tied up to a chair. However, instead of beating him to death, they untie him, hand him a bat, and threatens him to beat his own mother.
No. Do it. No.
When Lucas voices his unwillingness, they shoot him dead. Afterwards, the two women set up his body, so that it looks like he killed himself. It is revealed that they plan to pin all the murders on him. Desperate, the mother offers them money in exchange for sparing her life. But instead of sparing her, Katie takes the lawn mower and brutally murders her with it. On the next scene, Uncle Jason pulls up at Katie's house to pick her and Sloan up. It appears that some time has passed. Katie and Sloan get dropped off at the airport, and excitedly make their way to New York City.